Christmas, huh? We don't have to hear we haven't beat a quality team. We did. We've now locked ourselves in the playoffs for 2 seasons in a row. Jason Sanders, who's a little bit beleaguered, broke team record, 350 plus field goals. Dolphins broke their sack record of previously 49, 2005 and like 1983, with 50. And the Dolphins didn't appear to get any real serious injuries. Concussion with the chosen, and you can't joke about that. He's a good guy. His name's a little weird, but it definitely looked like he got a concussion. That was a hard hit. I hope he gets better. Mostert, something a little going on with the leg there, but it doesn't look like the end of the world, serious thing. And then Waddle got a little bit of a sprained ankle, shin. They're saying, so this was as good an experience as we could possibly have. There were some things that, we should be concerned about. I had said in my coverage that the loss of Tyron Smith was going to be massive. Adogba just lost his mind. He did like a Jesse Davis for half the game. It was crazy. And Chubb took advantage of it. Van Ginkel took advantage of it. It was a big turning point, but the biggest turning point was that fumble early on. Dolphins managed to squeak a win out 22-20, but it's a win. Now we go to Baltimore Ravens, and then we have the Bills coming in our house. And if we can win next week, then the Bills won't be able to take division. If we win next week, it's going to lock us up to take the division, which is going to be phenomenal. I mean, Bills could beat us and then lower our positioning, but we're in control. 1 down, 2 more to go. Merry Christmas. I was getting a little nervous there. I thought we were going to get a little coal in the stocking, but that wasn't to be. You got to give Dolphins a huge amount of credit. I said I liked Lamb and my man Tehran on the tackle spot, and they solidified it. I don't know how many people, extra blockers, we brought this game. We brought some, but not as much. And the edge rushers, because they don't really have great interior rushers. They got 2 really good edge rushers. For the most part, it was being held by 5, 6-ish kind of guys. And so the matchups really worked out well for us and did not work out well for Dallas. Fangio, he had that first big drive and then the second big drive, and it was a little nerve-wracking. But that's kind of how Fangio does it. He puts something out there and he lets it kind of run for a little bit, and sometimes he gets touchdowns or yards on the first couple of drives, but then he locks it down. He was masterful, calling up some very nice blitzes. Fourth ranked, I think we're the fourth ranked or fourth ranked, I think, run defense really came through. We were able to eliminate, and I had said in my coverage that the weakening of those tackles, Steele's not so good, and he had to go against VG, and Igdoba is a backup, but he's against Chubb. And then they had talent inside with Smith and Martin, but we had all that talent inside, and it's at the teeth of our defense, and it really locked it down. Ramsey got beat for the touchdown. There was early miscommunications, people complaining about the defense, but it was guys making mistakes. There was a mistake and a handoff between Elliott and Kohu, and then there was another one where Brandon Jones didn't come down. There was another one where X and Brandon Jones didn't drop deep enough on a big crosser and stuff like that. But Elliott, huge, stopping that touchdown on that first drive and then falling on the fumble. He had a little bit of a tough day. He had 2 holding calls. One was called, and it could have been big. But when you bring it across back over there and you realize that Holland's going to get there and he's going to play the second, he's a good guy for us. He's a good player. And that stop, that gutsy, hard-hitting stop in the red zone to force that next play, which was the fumble, and then to get on the fumble, that was the difference maker. Sanders was unbelievable with the kicks, 56, 54, 52, and then like 2, chip shots in there. So, I mean, it's good that he did that. It's bad that we couldn't score, but we had to understand Hill was a little diminished. He was a little, hurt, and Waddle got hurt. The offensive line was in shambles a little bit. Mostert played so well for us. He ended up with, and I knew the run game was going to be big, and we got 26 carries. And you look, Dallas and Miami were very, very similar. It was a very similar, very close game. We got 26 rushes for 91 yards at 3.5. I'd like to have seen a little bit more, and we might have been able to blow them out and not get it like this, but it was just enough. Mostert ran so hard, and that catch, that bobbling catch for the touchdown that he had was phenomenal. Hill obviously was big. I couldn't believe they opened. People are so dumb. Why do you open up with one-on-one coverage, Gilmore versus Waddle? And that was a 50-yard catch, his big catch of the day. Tua, he was a little bit off. He had, some very nice plays, some nice reads to get out of the pocket and scramble out and make some throws on the run. He had some nice, accurate passes. He had the speed of throw. And you notice I've been saying it for a while, and people, don't like when I say it. But the announcer was even saying he's 0.2 of a second faster than last year, and he's uplifting his protection. Well, it's not just me saying that now. Tua deserves a ton of credit. McDaniel deserves a ton of credit. I didn't like not going for that 4th and 5 and kicking the field goal and going for it and not getting it. That was stupid. It could have just been an easy. I don't know why he's always got to go for it. There was some plays I didn't call, a lot of exterior runs at the wrong time I kind of didn't like. But McDaniel, did you see him when they were starting to bring the pressure? He started getting those little short passes over the middle to the tight ends, and he called some very nice screens and very nice exterior plays, and he offset this protection a ton, along with Tua, Hill, and Waddle, and a consistent run game. And Dallas is a good team, but they really suffered because their tackles, you got to have at least one good tackle, especially when you're going against a team like this. But Fangio sat in his zones, some man, but brought really 4 guys all day and was able to deliver tons and tons of pressure. I mean, Dak was sacked 4 times, and he was hit. He had 5 QB hits and 4 sacks. This is the kind of defense that is just very, very, very potent and very portable for winning in the postseason and winning on the road. Defense is the consistent aspect, and we're going to get Baker back probably soon. We're going to get Holland back soon. Fangio was brilliant. And the players are starting to understand the defense. They make mistakes. It's not always Fangio who's called a bad play. Guys, for the most part, are making the bad reads on what they're supposed to do in their job. Overall, wonderful day, though. Let's see, what do we got over here? O-line, like I said, it was hot and cold. Tehran missed one, and it was the hit. See, these refs are so stupid. The one call on Wilkerson, the one call on Parsons. It was a bunch of missed calls by us, that helped us this time. Usually we're getting screwed. So, it kind of makes me a little nervous because now we got a little bit, and sometimes they like to take away, and maybe they'll take away in an important part down the road. But you can see these refs just suck. And they're kind of poor. McD and getting these plays in. This is home, and we still had some problems. One was Waddle getting off the field. You got to get that, because when you're on the road and the noise is against you, when you're on offense, it gets to be more mistakes. Now, we were really controlled in our penalties. There was really only one penalty early on, but then we got a flurry in the second half. But Dallas outpenned us, and that was another big thing. The turnover, we didn't have any turnovers. Tua had the one fumble, but it really wasn't. It was a low snap, and he picked up, scooped it, and threw it. But overall, Tua has controlled his turnovers. The offense has controlled their turnovers. And for the big part of the game, we controlled our penalties. But McD's still got to handle this getting the plays in and getting it on time. We're still a little slow. But, we'll see. Hopefully we can get some home field advantage in the postseason. But what more can we really say? This team is a good team. They've gotten 90% of their floor evaluations. This was a low-end ceiling evaluation because we were home, and Dallas is a good team, but not a great team. But we've already knocked that one off. Now we got a good team that's the head of the AFC in their house. We went there, and holy cow. I said in the live, you blow your hair back. I got none, but I'd grow some just to blow it back if we could beat the Ravens. That would be a great test. But obviously, you got to expect that's going to be a really hard one. But then the Bills back at home will be another ceiling evaluation. And if we get 2 out of 3 of these, we're going to have some very good seeding. We'll have home field advantage at least for one game. But if we could take the Ravens, who knows? Maybe even tops of the AFC. Now, you got a lot of field goals here on your home turf against the D. That's and an offense that couldn't produce. You got to kind of put a little control on it. A little, I wouldn't say rabbit ears, but you got to say, okay, look, we didn't blow them out. We got some things we got to work on. We got to get some injuries taken care of, and there's some things we got to fix. But it's still as good as you can possibly get. So this is a good Merry Christmas. I'll be off tomorrow, guys. Dolphins have now got 11 wins, 11-4, 2 games left. And with a chance to take the AFC, destiny is in our control. This is good. This is as good as it gets. It's good as it's been in a long, long time. Let's enjoy this week, and let's get ready for the Ravens. Going to the playoffs. Merry Christmas. What more can I say? I'm going to go relax now. Carter saying, catch you next time. Be well. Go Fins. Start building your own online sportsbook today by getting signed up with aceperhead.com service that'll allow you to book action on sports from all around the world.